Morning everyone, it's Malbodia here again. So today is day 3 of this response to the coronavirus and the whole, how do we manage to stay sane we'll have to stay isolated, staying in. So on previous days what I've done is to talk a bit about meditation sometimes, and also we've done some body work. Because what I said was that it's really important that we look after our body, so our body is stimulated and also relaxed. So it's not, we can't ignore that, and particularly now, because the danger is that we have to kind of like be a bit more kind of indoors and not exercising and things like that. So that it's important to remember that. When we're working with our body and our mind, that the two are just interconnected, So what the state our body's in has an effect on our mind, and the state our mind is in has an effect on our body. When we're trying to be mindful of the effect of our body on our mind, we can do that. We can make it up in a way. We can make it up for ourselves. So. I was leading some meditations for the stewards on a Buddha festival last summer, and we started doing all sorts of things. And so one of the things we did, we'll start with this, and later on we're going to do a healing visualisation meditation, just using the imagination to help us to actually feel better physically. We just make it up sometimes. So what you need to do, so we'll just start off with something, right? So just put your fingers up in the air like that, and then what I want you to do is to just make little tiny circles with your fingers. And as you do this, just try and sort of gauge what the effect is. So using that finger, so do it a bit smaller circles or larger circles, do it slower or faster, and just gauge what the effect is. So what we're looking for is to bring some the right amount of energy into our body, not too much, not too little. So all kind of body work, it's just somebody's worked something out that works, so we can work out what works as well for us in our own experience. And then just do the next finger, just little circles. Try and make the fingers as upright as possible, and then the little finger, just allow your back to come into alignment, and then do the same thing, just pointing outwards like that with your middle finger, little circles. Again, just do it slower or faster, larger or smaller circles, and just gauge what works for you to bring about the kind of energy that you want in your body. It needs to be not too stimulated, but not understimulated either. Okay, just carry on doing that. And then do that finger. And your little finger. Okay, then just brushing down your body, just waking your body up, waking your skin up. Again, just sense what has the best effect, the effect that you want. Do you want to do it more vigorous or just more gently? It'll just be dependent on our particular body and, you know, what's going on in that. And then just circling with your hips. Maybe just put your thoughts to one side, maybe on the other side of the room, so you're just doing something physical here. Not thinking about it too much. Just doing big circles with your waist. And then just put your hand, put the one arm up there, and then put it over there, and then pushing down with the other hand. So just stretching up this side here. Just little movements and back again. And then on the other side as well. So pulling up on the long side and pushing down on the short side. Try to keep your spine as upright as possible. And imagine that there's an arrow coming from the crown of your head pointing upwards like that. It's drawing your head upwards towards the ceiling, the sky. Okay, and then just leisurely kind of swinging your arms from side to side. Again, it's not too technical. Just having a sense of the kind of axis of your spine is just rotating. Starting with your head and then moving down the neck and into the spine. And just letting everything else be kind of loose. So I said in earlier videos that how, you know, looking after our body is really crucial to meditation. When we want to sit down and focus on something in a still sort of way, it's good if our body has energy in it and also is relaxed. So we can do what we can outside of meditation to help that. And people talk about in Buddhism about meditation posture, you know, which is the way that the posture that you sit in, you know, that your body sits in. But you can see meditation posture more broadly than that. You can see it as everything that you do with your body. So exercise, having a kind of hot then cold shower or bath, it can really wake up your body, wake the energy in your body, and that is all supportive to, you know, to when in life, you know, you're going to have energy, your body's going to support you with energy, but also when you're sitting in meditation, you're not going to reach a kind of wall of getting tired or sluggish. So just bearing that in mind today. You know, what does your body need? Just keep asking that question. way, mindfulness is about bringing that to mind just regularly, really. What does my body need right now? Okay, it's just little circles again, just to finish off. Okay, so now we're going to do some meditation, and so I've got some cushions on the floor here, meditation cushions, but just have a chair, or but try and choose a chair that's not too you're not going to sink into too much, the harder sort of chair, and then I'll tell you what to do next. So basically, what we want to happen now is for our body to just support us, so that we're just letting it sit there. We're not dictating to it. We're not sort of forcing it to sit up straight, but we're just letting the structure of our body just kind of do its thing. So our body knows how to sit down. I've said this before. Our body knows how to sit down. It doesn't need help from our mind and our emotions to do that. So just let it sit there, and then all you have to do is concentrate on the angle that your spine is making, and so you can forget, hopefully, about your body and what's happening with your body. So today's meditation I've called it healing visualisation. I just thought that it'd be good to just vary what we do over the days, and the reason I put that in was that it's like the central teaching that the Buddha had is that all things depend on conditions. So and that includes our body, our mental states, our emotions, our views, our feelings. Everything arises. Things in the world, the environment. So you get these like different levels of conditionality. There's a biological one. There's a physical one. There's a mental one. And in a way, what we're going to do today is like work with how our imagination can affect our body. So, and it's in a way it's about kind of faith that something can happen. So if we can imagine something and then really kind of believe it, then that can actually have an effect. And we don't have to think that everything is separate. The world of imagination and the world of the material world are separate. They're not separate, because our imagination is a real thing, and the physical world is a real thing as well. So, so what I want you to do is just to close your eyes, and we'll just spend a little bit of time just getting comfortable and tuning into our body first. So first of all, just being aware of the world outside, the environment, and tuning into the feeling that of the air on your skin, or your clothing on your skin, what that feels like. Maybe you've got some moisture on your skin that you can feel there. There's a kind of coolness where the moisture is evaporating, and having a sense of the the bulk of your body, you know, the weight of your body, the volume of your body. And having a sense of reassurance coming from that, you know, that your body's here for you. It's what we focused on yesterday. And tuning into how you feel at the moment, just acknowledging how you feel. And not making any judgments about that, about how you feel, as good or bad. Just sort of trying to be honest about how you feel at the moment. And trying to have a sense that you're going to nurture yourself through the day today. You're going to look after yourself and how you're feeling. And that this meditation is the beginning of that today. So we're stopping and we're bringing some awareness to ourselves, to the situation that we're in, what's going on. And we're going to try to address that situation with some imaginative exercises, meditation. And being aware also that we're here in a community of other people. So on two levels. So the first level is that we're here with all the other people who are meditating with us right now around the world. So just having a sense of feeling supported by that fact that other people are here with us, and being aware of the people who will meditate later on when they look at this Facebook Live. And then being aware of all the human beings in the world. We're part of that community as well. So just trying to feel supported by that fact. So there are people out there who are working in hospitals or keeping the food chain going, supporting us to be alive, keeping the internet running. So thanking them for that. And then beyond the human beings, there's all the other beings, the animals and birds and fish in the world, insects, and then other life maybe around the universe. So we're in this community that's called life. So we can bring this to mind. We can bring to mind the reality of things. That we are in this huge community. And we're not just in our own little mind, our own little world, isolated. Not if we keep our imagination alive. So now we're just going to start to use a bit of our imagination to work with what's here in the world for us. So the way that imagination works is that we have something that we imagine, and so maybe it's like a symbol or something. So if it was the Buddha, so a statue of the Buddha, it represents something, some reality behind that symbol, which is the possibility of overcoming suffering for yourself and others. So we use symbols all the time. Money's a symbol and it represents something. So what we can do is we can just choose a symbol to represent the way things are. So the way things are, according to Buddhism, is that they depend on conditions. Things arise in dependence on conditions. So things appear and disappear according to conditions. They're impermanent often. So what I want you to do is just to imagine that the whole of everything that you're experiencing, it's there, it's real, it's out there in the world, and at the same time it has a nature. So its nature is that it is conditioned and subject to change, it's impermanent. So just at the same time holding those two things, the reality of it and the fact that it's conditioned. Reality, it's conditioned. And just let that conditionality be represented by a blue sky stretching infinitely in all directions. So again, we're just using our imagination to bring into the foreground something that's there, but maybe we're not that aware of it. So the kind of changeable, impermanent nature of things. And what I want you to imagine is that in that sky there appears a cloud, and that cloud is made up of all the colours of the rainbow. And it is a magical cloud. So in the blue sky is this cloud, and I want you to imagine that the cloud gets bigger and bigger. And then it starts to move towards us, so it's over our head. Again, just do your best to imagine this, don't worry too much about it. Some people are better at visualising things than others. So just have if you can't visualise, just have a sense of what that is. Something magical above your head, something mysterious, beyond what you know. And then just imagine that cloud starts to rain droplets of rain onto your head, this rainbow coloured rain. And as those drops fall onto your skin, that they just seep into your skin, and you feel this intense feeling of nourishment coming from them. And everything that you want and wish for begins to come about. Particularly things like a real strong sense of ease in your body. Imagine that the rain is some kind of balm that just takes away all of your tension and anxiety. Just washes it away. If your mind starts to get distracted you start thinking of other things, don't worry about that. Just put your thoughts to one side, and for now, just coming back to your imagination, to the fact that you're here in this world, which is also a blue sky, and that this cloud is there, raining this nourishing rain onto your body and mind. And maybe just let your attention rest with your breathing to keep your attention anchored in the present moment. And maybe imagining that as the rain falls on you and also falls on the earth and on other people, you just get this life starting to come out of the earth, just growth, very rich, abundant, green life just coming up out of the earth. just makes you feel supported by the environment. So this represents the fact that just growth just keeps on happening under all circumstances, really. Life just keeps coming back. That's the nature of life. So now just imagining that the rain begins to slow down and then eventually stop. And the cloud starts to move from over your head more towards the distance, into the distance. And it just dissolves eventually into the air, evaporates into the air. So you're just left with the blue sky, which is also everything around you in the real world. Two things are both there together. The blue sky helping you connect with the reality of how things are. It's just a reminder of how things are, and then that blue sky gradually fades so that we're just left with the real world out there of material things. Well, tangible world out there, but it still is of that nature, that blue sky nature. Even though we're not that aware of it most of the time. So just now, just assessing how you feel at the end of the meditation, just noting that to yourself. What effect did the bodywork have on you? Can you carry on doing that in some way through the day? What effect did the visualisation have on you? Can you do similar things through the day? And in your own time, just bringing this meditation to a close.